Mr.
Oh, you
Chairman,
ain't here. Oh, there you go.
and to the
Okay, we
Credentials
are.
Committee. My name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, and I live at 626 East Lafayette Street, Rooseville, Mississippi. Sunflower County, the home of Senator James O. Eastman and Senator Stennis. It was the 31st of August in 1962 that 18 of us traveled 26 miles to the county courthouse in Indianola to try to register to become first-class citizens. We was met in Indianola by policemen, highway patrolmen, and they only allowed 2 of us in to take the literacy test at the time. After we had taken this test and started back to Rooseville, we was held up by the city police and the state highway patrolmen and carried back to Indianola, where the bus driver was charged that day was driving a bus the wrong color. After we paid the fine among us, we continued on to Rooseville, and Reverend Jess Sonny carried me 4 miles in the rural area where I had worked as a timekeeper and sharecropper for 18 years. I was met there by my children that told me the plantation owner was angry because I had gone down, tried to register. After they told me, my husband came and said the plantation owner was raising Cain because I had tried to register. And before he quit talking, the plantation owner came and said, Fannie Lou, do you know, did Pap tell you what I said? And I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I mean that, said if you don't go down and withdraw your registration, you will have to leave. Said then if you go down and withdraw, that you still might have to go because we're not ready for that in Mississippi. And I addressed him and told him that I didn't try to register for you. I tried to register for myself. I had to leave that same night. On the 10th of September 1962, 16 bullets were fired into the home of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Tucker for me. That same night, 2 girls were shot in Rooseville, Mississippi. Also, Mr. Joe McDonald's house was shot in. In June the 9th, 1963, I had attended a voter registration workshop, was returning back to Mississippi. 10 of us was traveling by the Continental Trailway bus. When we got to Winona, Mississippi, which is Montgomery County, 4 of the people got off to use the washroom. And 2 of the people to use the restaurant. 2 of the people wanted to use the washroom. The 4 people that had gone in to use the restaurant was ordered out. During this time, I was on the bus. But when I looked through the window and saw they had rushed out, I got off of the bus to see what had happened. And one of the ladies said it was a state highway patrolman and a chief of police ordered us out. I got back on the bus, and one of the persons who had used the washroom got back on the bus too. As soon as I was seated on the bus, I saw when they began to get the 5 people in a highway patrolman's car. I stepped off of the bus to see what was happening, and somebody screamed from the car that the fire workers was in and said, get that one there. And when I went to get in the car, when the man told me I was under arrest, he kicked me. I was carried to the county jail and put in the booking room. They left some of the people in the booking room and began to place us in cells. I was placed in a cell with a young woman called Missy Vesta Simpson. After I was placed in the cell, I began to hear sounds of licks and screams. I could hear the sounds of licks said, yes, sir. I said, well, say it. She said, I don't know you well enough. They beat her I don't know how long. And after a while, she began to pray and ask God to have mercy on those people. And it wasn't too long before 3 white men came to my cell. One of these men was a state highway patrolman. And he asked me where I was from. And I told him Roosevelt. He said, we're going to check this. And they left my cell, and it wasn't too long before they came back. He said, you are from Roosevelt, all right, and he used a curse word. And he said, we're going to make you wish you was dead. I was carried out of that cell into another cell where they had 2 Negro prisoners. The state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro to take the blackjack. The first Negro prisoner ordered me, by orders from the state highway patrolman, for me to lay down on a bunk bed on my face. And I laid on my face. The first Negro began to beat. And I was beat by the first Negro until he was exhausted. I was holding my hands behind me at that time on the left side because I suffered from polio when I was 6 years old. After the first Negro had beat him till he was exhausted, the state highway patrolman ordered the second Negro to take the blackjack. The second Negro began to beat, and I began to work my feet. And the state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro had beat to sit on my feet, to keep me from working my feet. I began to scream, and one white man got up and began to beat me in my head and tell me to hush. One white man, my dress had worked up high. He walked over and pulled my dress. I pulled my dress down, and he pulled my dress back up. I was in jail when Medgar Evers was murdered. All of this is on account of we want to register to become first-class citizens. And if the Freedom Democratic Party is not seated now, I question America. Is this America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we have to sleep with our telephones off of the hook because our lives be threatened daily, because we want to live as decent human beings in America? Thank you.
Fannie Lou Hamer.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on StreamYard. The air date of this episode is July 1st, 2025. We're joined by Black Ophenim Lion, okay? We're also joined by Black Joe, and we have Jesse Parrish here in the studio with us. Okay, what you just heard, ladies and gentlemen, is Miss Fannie Lou Hamer, and may her soul rest in power, and may it rest in peace. What she described to you as how it was down there in the early 1960s, okay? They did not regard us as citizens. They regarded us as subhuman beings, okay? So it is quite sad that they tried to erase this knowledge from our youth, okay? And of course, as we do know, this was during the time of the civil rights era, all right, with Dr. King, which was the predecessor to the Black Empowerment era, okay? And then, you know, you got all kind of monkey wrenches off in the works. Now, we're going to unmute the microphones right here. And the first thing, folks, that see, now this is some funny crap. And what I mean by funny is the kind of funny where you got to laugh to keep from crying, okay? And I'm going to unmute the mics here. Okay, everybody's added to the stage, okay? And let's see here. All right, okay, we can't unmute the mics until the folks unmute themselves. You must unmute yourself. Okay. All right. So we got to talk about people. Whoa, y'all gonna love this one. Alligator Alcatraz. Okay. Now, the chief executive of this country is talking about alligator Alcatraz down there, I believe, which would be the Florida Everglades. And he was approached about, well, alligator Alcatraz, isn't that out there in the swampland with the alligators, pythons, and then I even think that they even got anacondas down there as well. Okay, so the question is for all you legal scholars out here, wouldn't that be cruel and unusual punishment? Okay, so Black Lion, please unmute your microphone and unmute Joe's and unmute Jesse's, and let's get some feedback on this.
Black
Keeping specifically always. And now, wouldn't this constitute cruel and unusual punishment that you're gonna lock a cat down there in a cell in the middle of a swamp? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody can get themselves, when they're ready. But yeah,
okay.
they're gonna make it so you got to go through alligators to get up out of there. Yeah. Well, you know what that
Yeah.
means. When them white boys is used to wrestling alligators, he gonna be just fine. But see, we don't
Yeah.
and alligators. We ain't used to that. Well, I did see a
Yeah.
brother and an alligator, and then the alligator took his snout and butted him in the face because he had his snout wrapped up so it was closed, right? Couldn't bite him, but I guess,
Yeah.
like I say, I'm used to that. So he took his snout and just bust the hell out of him. Man, that's crazy. What they gonna think of next? Goodness gracious. I mean, first they want to ship people to a different country, and then going to deport our own folks, and now you're going to have them swimming with the alligators. Well, you know what? There's a good thing. At least people think twice before they go breaking heinous laws, and those that are left, you know what I mean? So yeah,
Wow.
so they better think before they sink. You know what I mean? Because they'll be right over
Okay.
there trying to. It's no way out. Like the guys that escaped. They just caught Massey the other day from the New Orleans prison system, and
Right.
left on the run. I guess he was making too many videos. But what I'm saying is he'll be over there with the alligators. So you can go ahead and knock the toilet out the wall if you want to. I bet you run back up in that joint real quick. And that's my
Yeah.
thing. And I'll leave it open for everybody else. Black Powerful.
Always. And then on top of it, too, this time of the year, man, that humidity is murder because people have challenged me. Well, Shabaka, when you going to take yourself down there to the South? Well, guess what? I met the challenge. I went to the South. I will not be going back down there again. Okay. And then out here in Las Vegas earlier today, Sin City, we had a weather system out here. Winds
Hey,
got up real high, and it
sorry.
was cloudy and what have you. And the front door is rattling, man. And I'm thinking, man, somebody getting ready to kick my daggone door in, man. I look up out the window, man. Boy. Now it's cloudy out here, so I would imagine there is a small amount of humidity out here. You see what I'm saying? But this is crazy. And then, of course, we do know that in the case of Mr. Combs, is that the jury has reached verdicts in some of the charges against him. They still are deliberating on one. All right, so we're gonna have Joe give us some feedback there. Okay. Joe, please unmute your mic, man, and give us some feedback, man, of what you think about this alligator Alcatraz, and then we can move on into Diddy.
I'm gonna say it like this: the alligator Alcatraz for me also is a non-factor. How many alligators and mountain lions and stuff did they past sneaking into the country.
Now that's a good one right there, brother.
Now we're talking about giving U.S. rights to people who illegally snuck in this country and may do this country harm. Did these people provide that black woman in Georgia the same rights when they raped and killed her, or the children in L.A. that they raped and killed, or the children on the East Coast that they raped and killed? That one illegal transvestite actually stalked an 11-year-old boy for a week, kidnapped him, raped him, and killed him? Did they provide any olive branch or any kind of grace to these people? So I ain't too much messed up about it. None of these rules apply to black folk. So I ain't talking about Pan-Africanism. I'm talking about American blacks. None of this applies to us. We have bigger problems elsewhere. That's all I keep saying. And I keep noticing that it's like they throw stuff out there for an emotional yank at chain, and 50 years later, we still getting our chains yanked and we still scream and yell. And I'm just over it on that one. But no, bro, if it's gonna be alligators, it's gonna be alligators out there, don't escape. Follow the law. Follow your extradition law, and an alligator won't eat you. And please, black folk, please do not tie this to New Orleans and what the clear people did to us and our babies. Please don't.
Oh man, I'm so glad you brought that up there, Joe, because you just brought back a memory. When I was challenged to go into the South, I went through the states of Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, and then after I left Louisiana, I crossed down there, Great State, Texas, down there, Governor Rolades. You know what I'm saying? Governor Hot Wheels. And it took me 810 miles to get up out of there. And then when I saw that desert down there in New Mexico, in southern New Mexico, is because, as you know, El Paso, Texas is literally, and I do mean literally, across the street from Great State, Texas. You know, now, Ted Cruz, the U.S. Senator from Texas. Ted Cruz, I'm not a fan of yours. I never have been, nor ever I will be. But what the two things that you did, Ted Cruz, that I have to respect you for. You have popped a Corona beer about a year and a half ago and told everybody to kiss your ass. Then you go on there with Tucker Carlson and you was ready to wring his neck. Now, I like that. Now, Ted, you know, like I said, I don't agree with you, man. You know, me personally, man, I think you're an obnoxious individual. And this is a G rating tonight, so we can't have no profanity on here at all, because me and Lightning, we've been putting together shoestrings, bubble gums, duct tape, plastic tape, masking tape, you know, to get this presentation on here tonight. Okay. And then down here, or over there where I used to live at there in the great state of California, gruesome Newsom, who belongs in jail. And then Kamala Harris, she had announced that she is going to be running for governor of the great state of California. Hopefully she will crash and burn, okay, and Ms. Harris, or whatever what you do in your personal life is your business. But one damn thing I do know, Ms. Harris, you don't never wash no greens in no bathtub. Now, everybody love greens. Now, Dynamite, you ever heard of greens being washed in the bathtub?
Hell no, my grandma wouldn't be doing nothing like that.
Exactly. Exactly. Joe, have you ever heard of greens being washed in the bathtub?
Not ever a day in my life, man. That's why. Yeah, I'm that Pan African. Like, no, never.
Okay.
She's Indian.
All right. Jesse, okay, I'll mute your mic. Okay, have you ever heard of greens being washed in the bathtub?
Hell no.
Exactly. So hell to the no. Hell to the no. Washing greens in the bathtub. The same place where you wash your funky, stinking, nasty behind, and you gonna wash greens in a bathtub. Okay, so that goes to show that that woman there, people, is out of touch with us. But hopefully she will not be the governor of the great state of California. Okay, now that current governor they got, he belongs in jail. You know what I mean? And then when they did have the reparations conference about a year and a half ago, Jesse got on. But for some odd reason, they must have known who I was, because when it was almost time for me to speak, they said that they was ending it. You know, I wonder why they did it. Why y'all think, man, that they didn't let me talk?
Because they know. They
Uh-huh.
probably all from Joe Gibbs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was going to tell them a few things about themselves, you know, what their policy enforces, and then also too about old low downtown Willie Brown, you know, and what have you, and Kamala, who was the Attorney General of San Francisco County, who did nothing for Mario Woods, you know what I'm saying, and then I definitely want to give a shout out there to Miss Cat Brooks. And for those of you in the East might not know who Miss Cat Brooks is, that she was a political advocate in San Francisco and in Oakland. And what Miss Brooks did on several occasions, she shut down the 580 highway. She also has shut down the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge. And she told the board of supervisors if they did not fire Greg Sir, as that she will shut down the Golden Gate Bridge and the Bay Bridge. And if that happens, guess what happens to San Francisco's commerce? Yeah, including Apple, including Stinky Bird over there on 10th and Market. Guess what happens to them, y'all? They shut down. They shut down. You say, so definitely give a shout out there to Miss Cat Brooks. I did meet Miss Cat Brooks. You know what I'm saying? And then, and she was talking about doing a door-to-door campaign for her. And I told Miss Brooks, I says, well, ma'am, I appreciate what you're doing, but you're going to have to pay me to do it, is because the places of where you want to get the support from is up in these hills. You see what I mean? And them hills keep you in shape. You know what I'm saying? But it's a mighty, mighty task. So she respectfully told me that she couldn't do it, which I appreciate, which I understand. She didn't waste my time. She didn't come to me with a bunch of BS. You say, now, there was a news reporter who is out of Oakland as well, too, who's married to a white woman by the name of W. Kamal Bell. Now, when Mr. Bell did, y'all, that he went down there and he met with the good old boys down there with the pointy hats, you know what I'm saying, the white robes and what have you. They meted in and greeted him, and they did inform him if he got out of line that they would have no problem killing him. Okay, at least stay honest. Okay. So, with all that there being said, people, of this systemic racism, you know, that they got against us, okay, against diasporic Africans, you see what I mean, who built the United States, you see what I mean? Okay, that they ought to go to tell us something. And what that they ought to tell us, people, is that we simply must have to do for self. You see? I mean, there ain't no ifs, there ain't no ands, there ain't no way about it. Now, this ain't hating no particular group. This is not speaking against a particular group. All we are talking about is our own self-sufficiency. And this is what I appreciate what Brother Ibrahim Traore is doing over there in the Burkina Faso. Okay. He's a young man, about 35, 36 years of age. Okay. So he is requesting help from the diaspora to help build up Burkina Faso. Now, there is another name brand podcaster who allows Africans to come on his show, and he tells them that they eat bushmeat. So I told this gut eater, I said, well, he don't let me speak on his show, and I really don't care, okay? So I put up there in this chat room or whatever, I says, well, gut eater, how much hog guts do you eat? And you're going to criticize on this brother from the continent, but I noticed he does not criticize these Europeans in America. You know what I'm saying? Don't you all think that's kind of a little strange there, Lightning and Joe?
Correct in your assessment, Shabaka, just like you're incorrect in who built this country. It wasn't
Bye-bye! Kaboom! Exit! Boosh! Okay. Like I said, I ain't putting that up there with that. Okay.
Oh.
As I said, okay. As I said, okay, don't you think that there are people, there's something kind of wrong with that?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. I mean, man, to each his own though.
Yeah, to each his reach, you know, to each his reach. See what I'm saying? But
I'm not
will not
give up no to eat. That's for sure.
Yeah, see, and I, you know, wouldn't do that. Disrespect nobody like that. And then he comes up there, man, and calls him this, calls him that. You know what I mean? As opposed to building something. You know what I'm saying? And it's just incredible. It's just incredible. Now we got a comment here in the chat. Show comments on stage. Okay, now let's see. We got a comment here. Okay, well, I can't get it up right there, but I think I know who it's from, and he's stating that I'm wrong. Okay, that's
right, let's
opinion.
Keep comments.
Okay, yep. Yeah, because I'm trying to unfree it. Okay, maybe on your end, Lightning, you might can unfree it. And he's welcome to comment. But one thing that's not going to happen here on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, okay? You're not going to contradict the host. You could disagree with the host agreeably. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to push another agenda where I have vehemently had stated that was wrong. You see what I mean? And will continue to do such. You see? And I don't have a problem disagreeing agreeably. You see? All right. Yep. And I hate to have to do stuff like that. Okay. But I'd be damned if I'm gonna sit over here, spend my money, and got not one damn donation. You see what I'm saying? And somebody think they're gonna come in here and tell me what to do with this.
Yeah, speaking of which, yes, we need. Speaking of which, we do need those donations for production costs. So for right now, hit the stars until we can get that super chat going, you know, so y'all can hit them super chats, and then your comments might be recognized. Well, actually, if they send a super chat, we go ahead and recognize the comment, you know. But right now, we ain't got to recognize no comments. We got topics at hand that we don't want to lose track, right?
Yes, sir, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a right to how they feel. You see what I'm saying? You know, which is their business.
Right? If I know someone spraying roach spray on the weed, and I'm trying to tell everybody else, hey, look, don't die from that, and somebody else say, hey, man, it's all right, I smoke it every day. Well, you know, you eventually,
you know what I'm saying?
You know,
that's up to them. You know, and I see we perhaps got some comments right here.
Like burning.
Okay, now Mr. Crewman says that I'm straight power tripping. Well, Mr. Paris, in response to you, when you break me some bread for this podcast, brother, you are more than welcome to come up here and host your own show. Okay? Now, he says in regard to you, Joe, and you might could respond to this.
on,
Black
please.
Joe literally said he ain't on that Pan-African nonsense. Okay, now, brother.
That's rage bait, brother. We covered that.
I don't hit you with insults. You're
Well,
saying,
let's
okay, and then
let's
he says to
please.
me that you ain't saying nothing to him sounds like selective
His
outrage.
comments are taking over the show, and we don't need that. Let's keep going. What's the
Okay.
subject?
Yes, sir. Okay, now,
Please.
Joe, okay, brother, your mic is on muted, man, and Mac 285 says, yeah. Okay, now, Joe, your comments on some things, brother, because one thing about speaking with you over the years, man, we disagree agreeably. What's on your mind,
Indeed.
Joe?
I got lost on what the subject was, man. Listen, so what can you realign that?
Yes, sir. Okay. The last comments that we got from Mr. Parrish, okay, also known as Shane Krumer, tells
No,
me that I'm straight power tripping, number one.
sir.
Okay. He also
If I'm
states that you, Mr. Joe, literally said that you ain't on that Pan-African nonsense. And then
yeah,
Jesse says to me, sounds like you got selective outrage. And this is why, I'm opening up the floor to you, Mr. Joe. Mac
Well,
285, he
I can
says,
I can clarify. I can clarify what I
okay,
said. I
then
said
Jesse said,
be,
he don't have to host anything on me ever again about that. I said, hey, Jesse, brother, that's beautiful.
why are you
And
entertaining?
Jesse, you said it. Okay?
What we talked about earlier, Shabaka, we got subject matter right now, and that's throwing us off. Right now,
Yeah.
we start back at the top, back to the alligator, and about the alligator Alcatraz. I was thinking now, Trump, he's trying to get foreign people out of the country back to their own country. So I'm thinking that alligator Alcatraz got to be for us. That's why I mentioned the escapees out of New Orleans, because I'm like, if they escaped out of New Orleans, they probably gonna put them somewhere like that where they can't escape. That's why I mentioned them. But as far as the foreigners, I would think that they just gonna be in their own country. That damn alligator, that shit is for excuse me, daggone it. Those chips are for us. I said chips. I said WTF with the fudge. All right, brother Joe, what do you think about that? So we can start back from the top. And Shabaka, please stop reading their comments.
Okay,
no,
yeah.
like I
Okay.
say,
It's a bunch of hateration that he's putting up in there, and I'm not going to read it.
Wait,
Okay, but go ahead, Joe.
after that.
what back to the alligators?
Yes, please. We can go start from the top.
No, like I said from the beginning, man. Them coming here illegally, other than the planes that some of them were actually flew in here on, they faced
Okay.
rivers, lakes, snakes, all that. So what I don't get what the outrage would be about that now, because they here illegally, bro. Like they broke law. You understand what I'm saying? And all that I got to say about that in this current situation is what they've been saying to us for the last 10, 15 years. If you don't break the law, stuff like this won't happen to you. What do you mean? Like that's kind of my stance on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, what you're
And hold
saying,
on,
yeah, go ahead, brother.
and when it comes to my Pan Africanism comment, before I spoke negatively against Pan Africanism, I said, "Well, you know how I feel about Pan Africanism, so I ain't gonna even go into that." And I deviated from that because you knowing how I feel about Pan Africanism will tell you how I feel about the situation with them.
Yeah.
Okay, now,
And what
are you saying, okay,
Shabaka?
yes,
Can I hold it down for a minute? Can I hold it down for a minute? Just for a minute. Give you time to get a cold drink of water. And it looked like the world out there. You tell me something about the like crazy out there, didn't you?
yeah.
Shabaka,
Mm-hmm.
that.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, say that again.
Tell us about the weather up there.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, out here is, this is the desert. You got a wind chill about 110 degrees out here. You know what I'm saying? I love it because we're a people of the sun. But all of a sudden, y'all, man, about 2.5, 3 hours ago, a huge windstorm came through here. rocking everything, you know, and then the sky went gray, man. So I didn't know if there was going to have a tornado out here. I didn't know it was going to be a major rainstorm out here, but it's kind of cool now. So then weather alerts was coming all over, you know, the social media devices. You know, if you don't have to go anywhere, don't. So that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm in the house for this evening. You know what I mean? Now, Jesse says here, I don't have to anything on what he wants to talk about ever again. Well, Jesse, that's you. And then he says that we ain't got no subject matter. We all over the place, which we do.
Plenty of subject. Getting on the comments. We can't get on the subject matter if we entertaining other people's comments. So back to the I stand corrected, black. It's no matter what person think. Let's just keep going, and the audience will say, "Oh, they got plenty of subject matter." I think the next thing we were going to talk about, well, one of the things that I was
to you, Jesse. You out, okay? Now you up here putting some crumb bombs on this here, and I'm going to read it. I'm no longer in the front line campaign, so enjoy doing this echo chamber shows with no views. Yeah, man, you wish the fuck it had no views, cat. You know what I'm saying? And look at all the views to your bogus ass shit. And I'm through talking to you, Jesse, because I got more important things to do. And I never thought that you and I would end this way. That's fine, okay? And that is fine. And remember, Jesse, you said it, not me.
Okay. The oldest big $1 million making in the white man's world of prestige, who speaks his people 100% and don't give a damn about the money, being shot, take the title, take it all, and to go to jail tomorrow. I love my people, and I'm not going to sell them out, make no movies, and mislead them and marry blondes, because I'm one Negro who the boss let me come into council, and the rest of them in the fields catching hell. I'm going to the fields and represent them if it means die. So that's why I'll fight.
Yeah, oh, well, what's happening, Mac 285? Mr. Parrish just put in his letter of resignation with Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced.
Hey, y'all, please, hey. That's why I love Ali. Everybody love Ali. I'm telling you that. Hey, look, we got comments. We got thousands of viewers. Can't just sit up there and think about one. Now, what we was talking about, the draft, 18 to 20. 18 to 26, not old days where you had to go and sign up with selective service. It's like your name automatically goes in the hat. And when check this out, they 18 to 26, they didn't say male 18 to 26. They said 18 to 26. That means some of our daughters are going to be out there ducking automatic machine gun. And you know what I was thinking about just recently? The brother, and I know you got a lot of content on this, Shabaka. So let's get on this and get your eyes off them comments, because this is where I need you at right now, because you got the most content on this than anybody know. The brother was Ibrahim Traore, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, brother Ibrahim Traore. Okay, and last that I
here's some questions about. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Putting in insults right here in my chat room. I'm not going to pay him no mind. Now, getting back to Ibrahim Traore. Okay, now, Ibrahim Traore.
I want to interview you to get your head off of that, for one, and also because you got more information than I do. What country exactly is he the head of again? Because I can't say the name of it.
Okay, it's Burkina Faso. Okay,
I have a hard time saying. Say it again. Burkina Faso. This is what I was thinking about, like this morning. We as black people, we love Ibrahim Traore, and he's giving everybody in his country everything they need free, absolutely free. Is that right, Shabaka? I think I'm not sure. That's why I said I want to interview you on
the essentials. Okay, the essentials, you know, food, clothing, electricity, and what have you. Okay, let's do it right. Keep in mind that he's a young man and he's picking up where Thomas Sankara left off. And,
how old is he?
Ibrahim man is only 36 years old.
Yeah, how about that? He in the prime, boy. I tell you now. Well, let's have a round robin about that because I was thinking today with this automatic draft, not mandatory draft, because you ain't got to go down and sign up for nothing. They just gonna send you a mail in the mail where you gonna have to report to. You know what I mean? He'd be like, you go ahead and pick what service you want to be in because your name already in the hat. What if? And I mean, this would be golly. Okay, what if America gets the draft and have our young men and women out there in uniform, put rifles in their hands, right? You with me? You follow me, or you following that up? Stop following that and follow me for a minute.
Yes, I'm following you.
Okay, this is very important because I ain't got all the info and you do. I know Brother Joe do too, but I'm just saying I don't. And I was thinking if they put them now let's get back on track. 18 to 26 automatic draft, right? For the men and young men and the young women, right? Now a lot might not be as educated up on Ibrahim Traore like myself. They might be not have all the details, you know. So he's really, to Black America, he's a hero, you know. Now, what if they decide to get in a war with them and have our young people? They always put, like in Vietnam, all the other wars, they put our people on the front line. I mean, not the front line. We were the scouts, like everybody else is way in the back. And they say, okay, we going to get our scouts way in the front. So we got about, like you get what do you call it? A SEAL team. You get a SEAL team to hit the beach with 7 men, right? And so them first 7 men, they gonna be Black, you know. And then when waves of Marines that they hit the beach, they gonna be Black, right? And now so Russia is pretty cool with how you say that, Afina? I can't say the name of that country. I just can't say the name of it, but I know where it's at. I can't even read it correctly. But you can't be a genius on everything. But one thing I have noticed that they will get us in. They will take American Indians and start a war with the Navajos. But see, they'll turn their rifles on them. But see, I'm wondering if our youth out there know about them. So can we focus, do a little round robin on them? Tell the people what y'all know about them, because maybe if they know more, they'd be less likely to do like, oh, I'm gonna give you memoirs of a Black Panther. I'll throw this in there too. Don't lose track. When we was there was a protest, right, for a young man that the police had in DC, 2nd District Police Station. It was fired up. They had the windows of the police station boarded up. It was like that, right?
Black line. Okay, Black line.
Yes, sir.
Just bear with me. Okay, they're trolling me right here. Paris is up here saying that he loves Regal. He's calling me a fraud. And keep in mind, I'm putting out there for Mr. Paris. If you're in Colorado, do not vote for Mr. Paris. He is a scam artist. Is because Jesse has scammed me well out over about $300 or $400, and he has not made not one fucking effort to pay me my money.
We're messing up our own.
Jesse, that's for you. You ain't paid me back one damn dollar, and your sorry ass they call your ass money, and you ain't paid me back one damn dime. Now be sure to put that there in your trolls, man.
The owners, big $1 million making in the white man's world of prestige, who speechless people 100% and don't give a damn about the money, being shot, take the title, take it all, and to go to jail tomorrow. I love my people, and I'm not going to sell them out, make no movies, and mislead them and marry blondes because I'm one Negro who the boss let me come into council, and the rest of them in the fields catching hell. I'm going to the fields and represent them if it means die. So that's why I'll fight.